June 10th. May your unfailing love come to me, Lord, your salvation according to your promise. Then I can answer anyone who taunts me, for I trust in your word. Psalm 119, 41 and 42. We saw earlier that Psalm 119 has been called a love poem about God's law. This verse is the first time that the word love appears in this psalm. David is seeking the experience of God's love. The Hebrew word is hesed, which has been translated as love, mercy, goodness, kindness, and even loving kindness. It refers to God's unfailing covenant love. What David is saying here is that God's word is the manifestation, the demonstration, the overflow of His love. We tend to think of rules and regulations and commands as restrictive measures that originate out of a need for order and justice. But God's laws proceed from His love for us. He wants what is best for us, that we may lead the best life possible. As Nicky Gumbel puts it, God's word is a love letter. The main point of the Bible is to show us how to enter into a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. God, in His infinite love for us, shows us in His word how to be free from the bondage of sin and free to worship and serve Him fully. David knows God. He has experienced His covenant love. He recognizes that God's word reveals and reflects that love. Therefore, he is able to trust in God's word and put his hope in God's promises. He is confident that his obedience to God's word will be his protection against those who would seek to taunt or reproach him. But David goes further in his response to God's unfailing love as manifested in the scriptures. He is able to say a few verses later that he loves God's word. Surely this is because that word reveals its author, who is worthy of our love. Today's decree: your unfailing love comes to me in your word, O Lord. So I put my trust in your word.